Okay, lump sum principle of taxation. So let's say you want to raise some revenue, you're a government and you want to raise some revenue using taxation. Okay. So there are two alternatives in front of you. Either you tax income or you tax consumption. Tax income means income tax. Tax consumption means goods and services tax. GST. Okay. So you have either of these techniques. Now suppose you want to raise 100 rupees from a uniform kind of a citizenry. So let's say तुम्हारे सारे citizens they are alike. Okay, everybody earns the same amount, everybody has same utility function, everything is same. So let's say you want to raise 100 rupees from this economy. So in that case, which method would you choose? Would you tax income or would you tax consumption? So conventional logic suggests that if you want to raise the same 100 rupees from the same set of consumers who are identical in all ways, it does not matter which method you choose. At the end of the day, you are taking 100 rupees from the consumer. So it should not matter which method you should use. So conventional logic says that income tax should be equivalent to goods and services tax. That's conventional logic, conventional wisdom, which also sounds correct. As long as the consumer is paying 100 rupees, how does it matter how you take it? Either you take it directly from his bank account or you take it from him whenever he purchases something. As long as he has to pay 100 rupees, he is losing 100 rupees. But that's the idea behind lump sum principle of taxation, which refutes this very intuitive result, which is intuitive but it's not correct. Intuition says that this is correct. It seems commonsensical also, but it's not. So we are going to look at this problem of lump sum taxation using an example. So consider a Cobb Douglas function. Okay, utility is root x root y, and the income is I equals to 8, and these are the prices. So first step is to calculate the indirect utility function and Marshallian demand function. Okay, so if I want to find the Marshallian demand function, I know what I need to do. MRS equals to price ratio. MRS for this function would be y by x. Price ratio is 1 by 4. So y by x is equal to 1 by 4, implies x equals to 4y. After this, I'll just put this thing x equals to 4y, okay, in the budget line. So the budget line is pxx plus pyy is equals to y. So instead of x, I'm going to put 4y because I have already calculated x to be equal to 4y. Alright, so this implies y is equals to I by, wait, I might have 4x. Sorry, I've done a mistake. I should not have substituted these values here. I'm trying to find the indirect utility function, so I should not be substituting the values of px and py. Implies y is equals to x px upon I, x px upon py. All right. I don't want to substitute px and py because Marshallian demand and indirect utility functions are functions in px, py, and I. So I do not want to substitute the values at this stage. Okay, so then px plus py is equals to I. Now I am substituting this value of y. So py into y becomes xpx. So 2xpx equals to I, which implies x star is equal to I by 2px, which implies y star is equals to I by 2py, which implies u star is equals to under root x star y star, which will turn out to be I by 2 root px py. So this is an indirect utility function. This is your Marshallian demand function. So you have found the demand functions and the indirect utility function. So we are done with the A part. Now the B part. Assuming a tax of 1 per unit on X, find the maximum utility the consumer can enjoy. So currently you had income equals to 8, Px equals to 1 and Py equals to 4. That was A part. In B part, he says that the government taxes an amount 1 per unit of X. So the government has imposed a tax Tx equal to rupee 1 per unit. Okay, so this Px, this was charged by the producers. Government has added its own 1 rupee to this mix. So it's like, let's say the government says that every pizza, it will have a tax of 10 rupees. So if Domino's is selling a pizza for rupees 199 and government adds a tax of 10 to it, the effective price for you is 209. Similarly, what is the effective price of good X for the consumer? 2 rupees. Okay. Effective price of good Y for the consumer remains the same, 4 units. Income remains the same, 8. Okay. Now, indirect utility function वैल्यू मुझे मिली थी v इक्वल्स टू आई बाय 2 रूट पी एक्स पी वाई. ठीक है. मार्शल डिमांड वर्ड x स्टार इक्वल्स टू आई बाय 2 पी एक्स, y स्टार was I by 2 py. Now these values I, px and py, these are all what the consumer feels. Okay, so consumer feels that he is paying 2 rupees, so he is going to do his utility maximization using 2 rupees. Only for the first time that you went to Domino's, you realized the prices are 200. After that, you always knew कि tax लगेगा इस पे. ठीक है, so no consumer is foolish enough to assume away the taxes. He is going to make his calculations for the effective price he pays and not just the nominal price which the producers are charging. Okay, so the value of the indirect utility will be calculated not on income and prices in the market, but the disposable income, that is the income which the consumer has left, and the prices which he feels. Okay, so everything is in terms of the consumer's frame of reference. What is the price that he feels in the end? What is the income that he can spend in the end? Right? So the same will happen when you first join a job. You'll get a job which says income is 15 lakh. But you will know 15 lakh is like cost to company. In hand आएगा 80,000 1 लाख के बीच में. ठीक है. So after your first job, you will basically become smart enough to do this calculation. The actual income is not the disposable income. The disposable income is something which comes in your bank account after taxes removed, after all kinds of expenditures with the company removes from that. So disposable income is the income that you have left after you paid your taxes and other kind of thing. In this case, there is no tax on income. So disposable income continues to be the actual income, that is 8. Okay. So part A के लिए मैं पहले calculate करता हूँ. In part A, utility was 8 by 2 root 1 into 4, which is 2. X star was 8 by 2 into 1, which is 4. Y star was 8 by 2 into 4, which is 1. That was in the case of no tax. Now let's talk about when a goods tax is imposed. Okay. So when a goods tax is imposed, utility is 8 upon 2 root. Price of good X becomes 2, price of good Y remains 4. So that becomes 2 divided by root 2, so that is root 2. Utility is root 2. It has reduced. It had to reduce because tax लगा है. Okay. X star is income disposable income 8 upon twice into px. Px is 2, so that is 2. Y star is 8 by 2 into 4, so that is 1. So good Y same खरीद रहा है, good X की value कम हो गई. Tax is imposed on good X, the value of consumption of good X has reduced. Okay, and utility has already also reduced, obviously. What is the total tax revenue generated by the government in this case? TX? Good. TY की value? TX की value? X की value? 2. So total revenue generated by the government is 2 rupees. Okay. Now let's do the next part. ये X की value 2. हाँ, अगर टैक्स लगा दिया तो X की वैल्यू आफ्टर टैक्स ही लोगे. Now, assuming the government imposes an income tax instead of a quantity tax so as to raise the same tax revenue as in Part B. So, instead of a goods tax, the government says, no, I don't want to put a goods tax. I'll put a income tax. Okay, so in this case, I want to look at what happens to the consumer's problem. So, if the government imposes this much amount of income tax, what is the disposable income of the consumer? I minus 2, that is 6. What is the price of good X? Government has removed the goods tax. So 1. और price of good Y तो हमेशा से 4 ही रहा है. Now if I look at the indirect utility function, then I'll get V is equals to ID, that is 6 by 2 root 1 into 4. So that is 6 by 4, which is 1.5. So this is the utility in case of income tax. So utility in case of income tax is 1.5, and utility in case of goods tax was root 2, which is 1.414. Okay, so if I call this as utility in case of goods tax, so I know that utility in case of goods tax is less than utility in case of lump sum tax, even though the government is making the same amount of revenue. And this is the lump sum principle of taxation, that it is always better to impose your taxes on income instead of putting it on goods. Okay, so if you put it on income, the consumer at max he'll be indifferent. So in some cases he'll be better off, in some cases he'll be indifferent in case of income tax. Okay? So it's always better to impose just income tax, right? This, sorry, exactly. Tell me, then why does the government impose GST? Then why put goods tax at all? Why do goods tax exist? There are multiple reasons. Hmm. Exactly, very good. So that is one condition, that income tax is perceptible completely. ठीक है, अगर मैं सारे गुड्स पे 10% टैक्स लगाऊं एंड इनकम टैक्स 30% रखूं, एंड पीपल आर ओके. बट अगर मैं बोलूं कि तुम 40% टैक्स दे दो डायरेक्टली और मैं गुड्स पे टैक्स हटा देता हूँ, देन पीपल लाइक कि मैं मेहनत कर रहा हूँ, उसका 40% तो गवर्नमेंट ले रही है, मैं मेहनत करूँ ही क्यों? पीपल फील डीमोटिवेटेड टू वर्क, अगर उनको ये फील होने लगे कि 40% पैसा मेरा डायरेक्ट गवर्नमेंट उठा रही है. हाँ, क्या टैक्स डिस्टॉर्शन? इतना मुझे आइडिया नहीं है. लेट्स नॉट फॉरगेट अकाउंटिंग फॉर द टाइम बीइंग. लेट्स अज्यूम कि ऐसा कुछ है नहीं, ऐसे कोई चीज़ें नहीं है. लेट्स से मैथमेटिकली एवरीथिंग इज ओके. ठीक है. So in that case, people will feel demotivated to work. In fact, there are cases when people leave countries. So a lot of rich people, they leave India. Okay, so Shah Rukh Khan is a resident of UK. Akshay Kumar is a resident of Canada. Uh, Different people have moved to different countries. ठीक है. Abroad में most of these sports stars like Messi, Ronaldo, Djokovic, Nadal, they have become residents of tax havens. So there are these islands which are called tax havens. So they are still citizens of their countries, but they are residents of these different countries which give very low income tax rates. So people will get out of your country and go to some other country if you start taxing too much. Okay, so Akshay Kumar lives in Canada because he saves on taxes. So all the top earners, they have moved out of India, and then you have Kapil Sharma being the highest taxpayer. Okay, and you think Kapil Sharma is making a lot of money, but he's a genuine person. He's not moved out of the country yet, so that's a good thing. He's still paying taxes to the country. All right. So next time you see Akshay Kumar in a nationalistic avatar in a movie or ad, remember that he flew out of country to save his taxes. Anyway, what else? What other problem do you think? Huh? There are different slabs, and let's not get into it. Not important for the exam. Anyway, uh, what other problem do you think income tax can pose? That's an effect. That's not a problem per se. वो तो टैक्स लगा के भी कंजम्पशन कम हो जाएगी मैक्रो लेवल पे. कौन से दोनों इफेक्ट? So I'm saying that income tax and goods tax are substitutes. So why, if it is always that income tax is strictly better than goods tax, why does the government even go for goods tax? That's what I'm asking. Consumption तो दोनों ही केस में कम होगा. Why does the government tax cigarettes? Give me a simple answer. I'm not talking about externality. Why does the government tax cigarettes? खराब होती है. So what is the government's motive by taxing it? Reduce consumption. Exactly. So goods tax can impact targeted consumers. So goods tax impose करके you can reduce the consumption of good. For example, in this case, X star was being consumed 2 units in case of goods tax. If you talk about income tax, disposable income was 6. So X star would be 6 by price of good X. Sorry, twice into price of good X, so that is 3. So Hicksian demand, sorry, the demand for good X in case of income tax would be 3 units. So the consumer would be consuming more of good X in this case as compared to this case. Okay, I just want you to compare this and this. I don't want you to bring this in picture because this was the case of no tax. I'm not comparing tax with no tax. I am comparing goods tax with income tax. Okay, so goods tax helps in reducing consumption. Okay, all right. Okay, why does the government impose a high tax on, let's say, luxury cars? Why do you think the government imposes high tax on luxury car? No, that's not true. ऐसा कुछ बोला नहीं मैंने. Why do you think people? Why do you think government is going to tax luxury cars and not motorcycles? Okay, you're approximately there. Huh? That is a subjective thing to say. Probably मेरे लिए necessity नहीं है. I'm just taking it to for fun. Almost there. Luxury cars are being bought by the rich. If you want to tax goods which are only bought by the rich, like luxury cars, you are effectively having some kind of redistribution. So income तुम पूरा नहीं tax करना चाहते. You want to take more from the rich. So you tax goods which are bought by the rich. So rich people, if you can buy a luxury car, if you can buy a Lamborghini, you can as well pay more tax. Alright, so that's the idea. So motorcycles are mostly bought by the poor people. They cannot afford so much tax. So that's the idea. So you tax luxury cars in order to uh, get more out of the rich. Okay, so these are different reasons. Huh? How exactly income redistribution. So that's the idea. Then there are a bunch of other reasons like tax evasion. If you increase income tax, people will start evading more. But there's no way to evade goods tax. If you are coming and you are consuming, I know you are consuming, so you have to pay. So that's why goods tax is better. ठीक है तुम पैसे कुछ बैंक में रख के तो रखोगे नहीं, you are eventually going to take it out and buy something from it. ठीक है so it's possible that people don't even report taxes. Okay, like if I take only cash from every student, there's no way for government to know कि कितना कमाया मैंने. Right? So in that case, it is possible that people get into tax evasions. Right? So these are different reasons why the government might actually use goods tax as well.